going on, everybody? Welcome to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Room on a Thirsty Thursday. Is that what we're calling it? Thirsty Thursday? That's right. We are hanging out here tonight, guys. Special kind of different night instead of a Wednesday because I had a work trip I needed to do yesterday, and there was no way I was going to be able to do the live stream from the hotel because I just would have had to bring the Blendageddon samples, and it just would have been a whole mess. So decided just to move it to tonight because I don't want to miss a night, especially when it's Blendageddon time. I got to get these samples tasted and getting through the bracket here as we get towards the end of the year. Hope everybody again had a great Thanksgiving, and yeah, we are back, baby. Thirsty Thursday. That's what we're gonna call it tonight. So let's see what you guys are doing here in the chat. I did. Mike Tyson says Turkey Thursday. Okay. That's right. If you haven't noticed yet, the Grinch is back. That's right. He'll be making his Advent calendar debut tomorrow. Tomorrow I launch my first December Advent calendar whiskey series, which I haven't done before, but I got a lot of requests to do one. If you guys haven't heard yet, I'm doing kind of a different spin on it. If you haven't heard what it is, you'll find out tomorrow. I'll explain everything then. But yeah, started filming those, and it should be a lot of fun throughout the month of December. So let's say hi to everybody here. Wow, I have 136 watching already. This is awesome. We have Giselle's Bourbon in the house. What's going on, Giselle? Rob Drabinski switched the nights on us, but whatever. We're here. Sorry, Rod. Whiskey Nose is in here. What's going on? Good old Marty Party. Joey B's in the house. What is going on, buddy? Doug H is here. John McKee. Warren Smith. Whiskey Juice. Tim Cornet is here. JG is here. Cool Running is here. Adam Dorman. Blendageddon. Adam, he's got a blend in the fight tonight. We'll see how that goes. Cool Running is here. What's going on, bud? Nice to see you. Travis Robeson. Good evening. Slapshot is here. Hope you're doing a little bit better, Slapshot. Always good to see you, buddy. JG Whiskey Cheers. Let's see who else is here. EMC, what's going on, Butter? Keith Thompson's in the house tonight. He also has a blend. He's in a tough bracket as well tonight for sure. Let's see here. T. Jarrett is here. Juice 8G, Joe the Sample Guy. Dramhound is in the house. Ed Williams. Wise Guy Stu, he's got a blend in the bracket tonight too. I just rhymed. Didn't mean to. I just rhymed again. SB is here. Nicholas is in the house. What's going on? Eric Sawyer. Eric Sawyer is just sitting back, relaxing. If anybody could take him out as champion this year, we will see what happens. Shaco Carlo, what's going on, bud? Nice to see you. Kenneth Rathburn is here. Thursday works better for me. Going to get in some bottles of Scott. 1792 12 year. Booker's Storyteller. And Barrel 10th anniversary. All three of those are actually pretty damn good. Hophead 59 is here. Got my Willet Rye 6-year pour all set. Hell yeah. Let's see. Sandeep Chima is here. Ben Drammond, Bourbon Retriever, Prescription Bourbon. What's going on, David? Get Strunk is here. And I'm just trying to keep up here. Thank you so much. Shauna Marie D is in the house, of course. And oh, look who's here. The Whiskey Saint Bootsy's Blend is in the house tonight. What's going on, Bootsy? Oh, man. Let's see here. Michael Kephart. Cheers from Oregon. Cheers, man. Let's see. Chris Jenkins, Lionel G. Mr. Mushnick is here. Andy Smith. Fancy Franchi is also here. Nice to see you, Fancy Franchi. Tyleezy, and a bunch of people else coming in. Okay. So we're going to dive right into it, guys. We have a lot to get to tonight. Not only news. Jason trying to get comments like keeping up with new labels, uphill battle. It is an uphill battle. Karen B. Ford is here as well. Lance has got Cream of Kentucky 16 today. Any info on this? Well, it's sourced. Generally, the Cream of Kentucky stuff was coming from Barton in the beginning. Not quite sure where it's coming from now. But that is, I mean, it's a good brand. I mean, kind of like anything else, Cream of Kentucky can be very hit and miss. It just depends. But I've heard decent stuff about their single barrel, so hopefully you got a good one. I just never see them near me. And then even when I'm traveling, I don't see them often. So It's one of those bottles that I just don't ever get a chance to pop up a lot or grab. All right, so I'm gonna dive into the first pour of the night. And a lot of people were asking about this one. This one's already sold out, though. It's sold out on Sealbox. I don't know if anybody got this bottle. This is the Sealbox 9-year Private Reserve Cask Strength Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. That's right. This is sourced, but it is a Kentucky Straight Bourbon. Mash bill 75-15-10, 9-year, 5 months, 131.2 proof. So weird mash bill on that. Doesn't really line up with a lot of the well-known mash bills that we see. I've heard that it could be Beam, it could be Heaven Hill. It's also the mash bill that was found in the Lost Prophet that was used by Orphan Barrel when all those old barrels were supposedly old George T. Stagg barrels. So not really sure where this is from. All we know is it's a Kentucky bourbon. So let me know what you're drinking in the chat here tonight. Welcome in. Let's see what we got here. So as sweet as it is on the nose, one thing I don't remember picking up on this the first time I tried it was having a very rye forward type of aspect to this. So it's a little bit, I don't know if I would say savory, but it's, I don't know. Is Grinch guarding? Yeah, Grinch is guarding the foregate. He's ready. He's ready for it. Crack the Kenosha kicker tonight, says Danny Lopez. Dude, that thing is so good. Danny, the Kenosha kicker, man, when it gets, wait till it gets like past that shoulder, it just turns into straight up maple syrup. It is so good. Maker's 46 cask strength, ECBP 522. That's a good one. My first bottle of Smoke Wagon, to be more specific, their private barrel number M166. Very cool. Cheers, Zach. All right. So good nose, very sweet all around. I mean, it smells like a Kentucky bourbon. I wouldn't quite peg this as anything from Indiana. Not a lot of citrus to it, but there is a good amount of sweetness here. So let's give it a try. Yeah, it's got a lot of spice to it. So I think the spice I was getting on the nose has translated to the palate. Let's see. Yeah, Kenneth Rathburn. It could actually potentially be Barton. I think Barton has a way of drinking very hot and spicy, and I think that's what I'm getting off of this too. So I'm not really getting the nuttiness that type of profile I get from Heaven Hill or even Jim Beam. If I had to take a guess, I actually would say Barton. Like now, when I first tried it, I was like, this could be Heaven Hill maybe, but yeah, tasting it now, I think this is very well could be a Barton product. But I don't know. It gets kind of easy to sip as you go. Leaves a nice spicy finish. This is pretty damn good. 131.2 proof. I actually think it drinks a little bit under that. However, the spice gives you this indication of just, yeah, like 15 rye. Like you could tell me this was more rye in this than just 15. It's a lot. Hey, EJ is here. James R. Valentovich is here. Scott Sebastian, what's going on? Dustin Pichelle. Redwood Empire Lost Monarch cracking the Grand Marnier tonight, says Dustin Pichelle. Oh, damn. Dude, let that sit out for like 10 minutes and then dive in. JG's drinking some Schmore Schmoses. I like it. Reginald Saladin is here. Nice to see you as well. Dude, this is good. I like this more than some of the other like finished. Oh shit, I just spilled that. Yeah, that happened. All right, luckily I have a towel here. I'm always prepared just in case. You know what? I'm trying to remember the last time I like spilled something live. I do remember the last time I spilled it. Was it that time that I spilled the Mayor Pingree like all on my pants? I think that's the last time I spilled something live. That was a long time ago. So I have a decent track record. I better keep that handy tonight. Jesus. Clean up on Alpha. It's going to be one of those nights. Oh, man. This is what happens when you don't, have your usual night. You're just all thrown off and you start spilling shit. Okay. Let me put that there. Let's get into the next bottle here. One that I've been really wanting to try. Well, I have two finished. I actually have three finished bottles here. One is kind of a surprise. You might be able to see it. Maybe not. You know what? Let's get into this Watershed. So Watershed is a local distillery here in Columbus, Ohio. They had just announced their bourbon finished in maple syrup barrels, and this is part of their fall finishing series. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to see more finished whiskeys coming out of Watershed, after this one, but I guess we'll find out here. So let me, America. Let's get this poured. And while this is airing out a little bit, guys, I'm going to go through some fun news stories here. All right. Yeah, I was literally on a batch number. This is batch number 1. Does that make a difference? Tripping and diving face first at the end of the night. Yeah, Martel, what's up, buddy? This is batch number 1. It's 114 proof. Now, some of the other details on this. This is 5 years old. 5 years old. It's a handcrafted spirits and a celebration of the flavors inspired by autumn. Limited release straight bourbon whiskey. This release champions the life of the barrels used, as well as the highlights of the all Ohio ingredients and businesses it took to bring it to fruition. Shares Greg Lehman, founder of Watershed Distillery. First offering of its kind by the distiller, bottled at 114.1 proof. Tasting notes. I don't want to read that yet. Suggested retail price, $80. $80 for this one. All right. That's going to need a little time there. I don't think I've ever heard of Watershed. Yeah, Watershed is, they've been progressively getting better and better. I will say when I first moved here to Ohio and got to start trying Watershed stuff, they were using a very different type of grain. They were using, I think, spelt instead of kind of like a standard, bourbon mash bill. Wasn't really a big fan of it. They brought in a new master distiller. He kind of changed some stuff. He kind of went towards, I think he came from Barton, as actually speaking of Barton, kind of made a more standardized mash bill and kind of utilized some. Let me turn off my phone here. Sorry, guys. Turn that off. All right. Yeah, he went to more of like a standardized mash bill, and then from there, the stuff started just getting progressively better. We saw some good single barrels that were released from Ohio. I still think it's a little bit of an acquired taste for Watershed. People seem to either really like it or be kind of on the fence about it. But tasting a finished variety, it should be pretty cool. Jared says, I still have their barrel strength 6-year I won from last year. Made the mistake getting during a Buckeye football game, and traffic was crazy. Oh, man. Yeah, getting down there during a football game is not gonna happen. Maple syrup barrel using fiber infusion technology. Is that what they did? I don't think that's what they did. It's not at least what the press release says. Yeah, no fiber infusion. Thank God. Yeah, let's let that open up a bit. Oh, all right. It's starting to smell a lot better. When I first cracked it, that thing smelled weird. All right. Let's go into the first. Yes, it's an Ohio distillery, JG. Grain to glass. All right. Let's go into a couple of news stories here that came across the web sphere. And first and foremost, check out this bottle. Rebel releasing a small batch reserve. Now, I'm trying to remember. I don't think I talked about this, but this is a 110 proof wheated bourbon with a recipe that dates back to 1849. So the whiskey has a suggested retail price, and I love this, $35, $34.99 to be exact. Rebel Small Batch Reserve uses Lux Rose 4-year-old wheated mash bill, and it was drawn from barrels that were chosen by Lux Rose master distiller John Rempe and blended in small batches. Let's see. It's an example of taking that same time-honored wheated recipe created in 1849 and presenting it in a small batch format at 110 and 10 proof. So yeah, if you guys like your wheated bourbons, especially at a higher proof point, I'm excited to try that for 35 bucks. I mean, why not? I wonder how that will go against the Origin Series wheated bourbon, Larceny Cask Strength, some of the other higher proof wheated bourbons on the market. So pretty cool. Everybody kind of lost their mind when this popped up. Old Fitz announced their fall series, I should say, for 2023, which is an 8-year-old bourbon, an 8-year-old wheated bourbon. Speaking of wheaters, so this is a biannual release. This is the Old Fitzgerald Bottled and Bond. This was just announced. So the 8-year-old whiskey was chosen from barrels of bourbon made in fall of 2015 and marks the 12th consecutive national release. So again, this will be releasing this fall. So you guys know the deal. In accordance with Bottled and Bond regulations, tax strip on the bottle. Addition meets all of the requirements according to the brand. Was made from a single distillery during a distilling season. Bottled at 100 proof. This one comes at a suggested retail price of $109.99. The one thing that sucks about those is that when you do find them, it doesn't matter the age. Nobody cares about the age. And now when I say nobody cares, I'm talking about the people that price them. The people that price them, whether it be on secondary, whether it be at stores, they don't care what the age is. Because it's in that beautiful decanter bottle, they feel they could charge $300 to $400 for that no matter what, just because the bottle is so beautiful, which I think sucks. And those types of people know what they're trying to do. So I'll say this: if you have a store and you own a store, don't try to screw people over with the 8-year-old Fitz. Like, if you want to mark it up reasonably, make some money on it, but don't mark it up to $300 to $400. It is not a 13, 14, 15, or 16-year wheated product from Heaven Hill. So do us all a solid and kind of keep it at a a respectable level of price point, please. Thank you. That is me doing your work, guys. Just saying. Martel says High Bank is way above Watershed. Middle West Spirits is the best Ohio distillery. Yeah, like right now, I would probably agree with that, Martel. I would probably go, I don't know, I really like a lot of the High Bank stuff too. But yeah, I think High Bank probably does the best blends. You could probably argue that for me, Middle West, their pumpernickel rye is ridiculously good. And then coming on the heels of that would probably be Watershed as they start aging their stuff up. So needs a horsey top. Yeah, Middle West Spirits, Mr. Dixie Cup. That's also in Ohio. So yeah, I'm sure I'm talking on, it's everything. What I just said about Old Fitz is just going to fall on deaf ears. Nobody cares. They're just going to try to get as much money as they can for it because it's, in that beautiful decanter. All right. Next one up is, let's see here. Just kind of a note. If you guys loved the piggy bank rye in this bottle where the whiskey pours out of the rear end of the pig, it's back. So if you missed it last year, it is coming back. The Whistle Pig 10-year piggy bank rye bottle is back for the holiday season. So if you missed it last year, hey, you get it again. All right, let's dive into this Watershed here. 5 years aged in maple syrup cask. Now I'm guessing that the maple syrup barrels were also sourced from Ohio locally, just based on what the press release said. I'm not sure if I'm quite getting a lot of the maple syrup on the nose. There's definitely some of that there. Yeah, I think it is there. Because there's like a different, and let's do a quick vote here in the chat. There are folks that love, like, Aunt Jemima, Mrs. Butterworth, the real like sugary, crazy maple syrup for like pancakes and waffles and anything else that you love breakfasty. And then there's folks that like the natural maple syrup. So in the chat, where do you fall? Do you want kind of the fake stuff or the natural stuff? Let me know down in the chat. Are you you Mrs. Butterworths, you Aunt Jemima, or are you I need the natural maple syrup, like straight up Vermont, like the good stuff? Oh, will do, Scott Sebastian. Don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you so much, man. Nice to see you, Cheech. All right, let's give this one a try. Did not expect that. That came off like peaches and cream. I got straight up like boozy peach on it. That's crazy weird. There's room for both. I prefer natural maple, but always end up with the budget stuff, says Zach Butler. Hey, what's up, man? Jeffrey Wax in the house. What is going on? Natural. Okay. Could see that. Let me grab another sip of this one. All right, that one got a little bit more of like the toffee brown sugary note that you get in maple syrup, but there is a very like peachy like overlay on this to me a little bit. I don't know what that is. Not like as strong as like some of the like I've tasted a lot of single malt scotches that have a lot of peach to it. Nothing like that. And this is a little bit different. However, it's kind of walking the line between super sweet and just very sweet. All right, yeah, the peachiness is starting to get away. I'm not sure if it was just my palate there coming off of the other thing I was drinking. This is nice. I mean, it is sweet. It is pretty sweet to me. The proof is really nice. Finish is easy. It's got a little spice to it, but it's very sweet up front. I think if Watershed was, aiming for a sweeter bourbon profile, I mean, obviously they definitely nailed it with the maple syrup. I mean, is this an $80 bottle though? I mean, I think it depends on how sweet you like your bourbon. This is really for the masses, I think, that people that like that sweeter profile. So if that's what you like and, you live in Ohio, you might want to pick this up. There's a bottle, guys. Watershed. There it is. Fall finishing series, 5 years old. You know what? That like bright fruit note that I'm getting intertwined with all the maple syrupy stuff, I think that's just the youthful nature of Watershed that I'm picking up. I think that's a note that I usually get on Watershed, and I think I'm kind of cutting through the finishing, the maple syrup, and just finding that 5-year whiskey in it, which means one thing. The maple syrup isn't really overdone on this whiskey at all. The backbone of what Watershed does is still intact, which I think is a good thing. So see how this bottle opens up. But probably one of the better products I've had from Watershed, to be honest, in a little while. So I dig this one. It's not too bad. My favorite is the real maple syrup finished in bourbon barrels. Okay. Is the Watershed too cloying, or is it pretty well balanced? The maple syrup finish is whiskey blender Nancy Fraley in the house. What's up, Nancy? Yeah, no, as I just stated, Nancy, it's not overly cloyingly sweet, I don't think. I think the Watershed backbone is actually cutting through, and you're getting kind of that backbone of the bourbon. You're tasting kind of what Watershed does, which I like. I never like when a finish is really overly done. Sometimes you can't help it. You just have that type of finish. But for this one, it's actually working really nicely. Yeah, it's still like finishing with like this peachy note to me. It's crazy. This is actually pretty good. This might be one I bust out in fall. People come over and take that out. Yeah. Martel, Jason, I'm gonna get you a sample of the batch 3. You can tell me if your thoughts next weekend. Oh, sounds good. Sounds good, man. In search of 100 ECBP C923, 100 of them, Mojo. Don't overfinish it unless it's really good. Yeah, exactly, Dustin. Well, we got 243 people on a Thirsty Thursday. I love it. All right, guys, got a little surprise for you because I just got this bottle today. Now, for work, I was in Chicago yesterday. I was in Chicago this morning, and I left Chicago today, flew in. It's a quick flight from Chicago here to Columbus. Took a quick flight, got in here around 6:30, then did everything I had to do to kind of, get ready for the live stream tonight. So I'm basically running on fumes right now, but, once I get in front of the camera and talking to you guys, I get like fired up. So I'm also running on a little bit of adrenaline, probably just why I'm spilling stuff. But when I got home, there was a little, care package waiting at the front of my house. And what was in it was this cool bottle right here, the Jack Daniel's Distillery Series. So Jack Daniel's dropped a new sherry cask finished whiskey, Tennessee meets Spain. So this is part of the Distillery Series. If you guys, it's basically they switched the Tennessee Tasters to the Distillery Series. Now the first batch of Jack Daniel's American Single Malt, if you remember, was finished for full 3 years in Oloroso sherry casks. So really more of a secondary maturation. This Distillery Series selection, number 12, spent the same amount of time in sherry casks, which according to the official tasting notes gave the whiskey sweet citrus on the nose. Oh, and then it gets into all that stuff. I don't want to read all that and get swayed. The mash bill is the same as all the Tennessee whiskeys of 80% corn, 12% malted barley, and 8% rye, and it's bottled at 90 proof. Of course, charcoal mellowed and all that fun stuff. It's available now at the in 375 milliliter bottles, and I think it's, what are these, usually about 50 bucks, something like that. I don't see a price here. Let me look online. And this says, and that might be sold out already. Jeez. Oh, I don't even see it on here. Okay. Well, I think these are normally about 50 bucks. So, all right, let me hide that. And here it is. Oh, Jack Daniel's Distillery Series. There it is, guys. Now, this is kind of an interesting addition, because thank God, because the Añejo finish taste there wasn't great. Yeah, I mean, Scott, that one was an acquired taste, but you have to really like. It's 42 bucks, William Wiley. Perfect. Yeah, you have to really like, tequila for that. And even for me, someone that really doesn't drink tequila very often, if at all, that I could definitely taste the tequila, but I still didn't think there was a lot of tequila. All right, so let's give this a go. This is one of those. So I was in Jack Daniel's a couple weeks ago, the week before Thanksgiving, doing a couple barrel picks, and while we were there doing the tour, they were actually bottling this. So it was going through the bottling line, and I'm like, oh my God, can we just get that bottle right now? Can we just get it? And yeah, it wasn't ready yet, but I'm glad they sent me one. So appreciate that. Yeah, I've got a John J. Bowman in the background too. JC, did you stop by Goose Island to pick up any of the new variant releases? I was in Chicago last weekend. Henry Turner, I wish I could have. I had no time to pick up any of the variants. I'm going to have to try to source them through maybe some friends in Chicago. Wasn't able to get any of those. So, yeah. All right. The nose, Oloroso Sherry Finished Jack. Interesting that it spent the same amount of time as the single malt did. So I'm anticipating a good amount of Oloroso Sherry finish on here. Now, the one thing that you get scared of a little bit with sherry or even port is that sulfur note. I'm not getting that here right now. Actually, Nancy Fraley, while you're in the chat right now, could you any reasons why the sulfur will come out? Is there something that happens with like the port wine or sherry finishes, or some of those wine-based finished barrels that will bring out sulfur in the finish? Why do you get them in some whiskeys? Why don't you get it? What really affects it? Is it an over-finishing thing? If you leave it in too long, will you eventually get sulfur? Or is it just a luck of the draw? I'm just curious to that, Nancy. So this smells really nice. It's Jack Daniel's. There's a little bit of banana in there, but it's actually a lot of dark fruit. It's this mix of like dark fruit, toffee, and chocolate, which is nice. Judd Porter. Yeah, guys, while you're hanging out, just hit the like button. It's completely free. You can do it. Just that little thumbs up there below the video. Just give it a go. Thank you, guys. I would guess too long. See, yeah, whiskey nose, that was my thing. Like, is it just being too long in a barrel that you start getting that sulfur note? Or is it something else? That's why I feel like Nancy is the perfect person to ask. This is actually really nice on the nose. The dark fruit, the toffee, all of it. It's really, let's see here. The more I go into it, it's getting more like this is kind of like these perfect fall whiskeys. This is starting to get into like a cinnamon clove kind of fall baking spicy type thing going on. It's nice. All right, let's give it a try. Wow, at 90 proof, you do get there's a good amount of sherry finish in here. Now, it doesn't get to the point where it's so sherry finished that it's you get like that real like dark, rich, like grapey chocolate type of note. It's not really that type of sherry, but the sherry, I think, is to the point where it's starting to overtake the Jack a little bit, which is hard to do. Yeah, it's like so I always get this one note in Jason, I went full tater last week in Richmond at Papa Joe's when I was back home in Ohio. Thought maybe you would have been floating around in Richmond at Papa Joe's. Yeah, I wasn't in Richmond. Yeah, Henry. Oh, okay, yeah, I did read that. Sorry, Henry. Thank you so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, guys. Cheers to Henry for the super chat. I cheers you. Thanks so much, man. All right, let's see. Whiskey Blend of Fraley. Sulfur comes out in sherry and port casks when there has been a sulfur candle put into the cask to kill any bacteria. Hot warehouse temps really bring it out. Really? Interesting. When there has been a sulfur candle put into the cask to kill any bacteria, hot warehouse temps really bring it out. Damn. Is that a thing? A sulfur candle to kill bacteria? Ew. I feel, isn't that like rolling the dice though? Why would you want to chance that in your barrel? I mean, I get it. You need to kill bacteria, especially if you're reusing a cask. Ryan Hoskin, I think that's to do with how fresh the barrel. If they won't be real for some time, they add sulfur to prevent bacteria growth. Basically, you went, yeah, Ryan, that makes sense. All right, especially coming off of what I just read from Nancy. Oh shit! This is my bourbon podcast is here. What is going on? How you doing, buddy? Perry. Pear Bear is here, as he's commonly known. Nice to see you, man. Dude, you've been cranking out some amazing content. Thank you so much. I do listen to your podcast all the time, Perry. Guys, if you haven't listened to This Is My Bourbon Podcast, what are you doing? Get it downloaded and subscribe on your podcast feed immediately. Absolutely. Shona Marie D, hopefully I'll make the next one. Cheers. Oh, modernthirst.com is here. What's going on? All right. Christine Vaco is here. This is it's good. I mean, I don't think it's anything spectacular. It's nice to taste the Jack Daniels with a sherry finish on it. But like Jack Daniels to me has like that banana chip, peanut, almost like trail mix banana chips in it flavor. And I feel like I'm getting that in the beginning, and then it turns into dark fruit. So it's like banana chip trail mix with like cherries and maybe some cranberries in there. So it's got like this mix of dark fruit character, maybe a little bit of like chocolate, and you throw a little like couple of chocolate chips in there. So it's kind of like a whole handful of that you're drinking. That's the best way I could describe it. Yeah, and it just keeps staying like that. So yeah, I mean, I think it's, I'd rather probably taste it like this than buy a whole bottle of it. I don't know if this is something I would enjoy. I think I've had some of the other, distiller series that I've enjoyed more. And I really do like the Oloroso with their American single malt that they made probably over this, just in my opinion. So, but it's not a bad experiment. Yeah, sulfur candles are standard industry in the sherry and port world. Even if a barrel is shaved in an STR fashion, depending upon the way it's shaved, it still has the sulfur. Damn. Oh, wow. That's crazy. That's really interesting, though. I didn't know that they kind of like the candles to get rid of the bacteria. That's an interesting note. Oh, Nancy, when you come on again, we're gonna I have a whole list of questions for you. I guess when sulfur casts are batched together in large batches, the negative notes get blended out, but risky for single casks. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, the pecan rye was delicious. That one was probably one of my favorites, to be honest. For sure. Let's see here. CJ Miller's drinking Corbin Cash. Merced Rye, thank you for suggestions. Great stuff. Yeah, isn't that so good? I tell you, that Corbin Cash is one of like the finds of the year. I love it. Okay. Let's go here. So another surprise whiskey here. This, I don't know if you guys heard a lot about this one. This is the Bardstown Collaborative Series, the Amaro Nonino. And I was kind of gifted this bottle from Bardstown because I'm Italian, and it's like the one Italian it's the one Italian collaboration that they have. And let me pull up the stats for this here. Oops. Let me see here. I thought I had it up here. All right, so this is coming from Bardstown. I am not saying this. A result of alchemical art, Amaro Nonino is an exquisite innovation of the Nonino Grappa tradition dating to 1897. Our hand-selected blend is aged in Amaro Nonino Reserva barrels for an additional 17 months, cultivating a complex and magnificent flavor. So the blend of this one, 80% of it is Kentucky 12-year bourbon, 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% malted barley. So that's either going to be beam or turkey. 10% is an Indiana 7-year low rye, 51% rye, 45% corn, and malted barley of 4%. And then 10% Indiana 6-year, 95.5. So definitely dig the blend here. There's no, we don't have any Dickel in here. So I dig it. Looks, yeah, it does look dark. All right. Hey, Whiskey Uncensored's here. Very, very nice. I got to try that collab at Bardstown earlier this month. Interesting pour, not bad overall. Well, let's see how it is. Now, Amaro is not generally like my thing, like Amaro Nonino. I mean, let me see here. That's not. Oh, here we go. So Amaro Nonino is basically a kind of a bitter herbal liqueur. It's, you know, they indeed, you know, sometimes they're barrel finished, sometimes they're not. So I believe this blend was aged in Amaro Nonino Quintessencia Reserva barrels for an additional 17 months before being bottled at 55.5% or 111 proof. It's known and loved as a lighter Amaro, less syrupy and heavy on the palate than heavy hitters such as Montenegro Amaro, and with more gentle, less bitter flavor. It's a delicate, easy, neat drinker in the Italian Amaro world and mixes less assertively than some others into classic cocktails. The cocktail world became more specifically familiar with Amaro Nonino after it was spotlighted in the recipe for the modern classic, the Paper Plane, which is equal parts combination of bourbon, Amaro Nonino, Aperol, and lemon juice. So there you go. So I do expect to get a little bit of bitterness here. Ron Miles says national release, no state got more than 48 bottles. Let's see. So the cool thing about this is that Amaro Nonino never has done a collab with anyone before. They gave us 3 barrels to play with, smallest collab we've ever released. Thank you so much, Ron, for that info. An STR barrel means it has been shaved, toasted, and recharred. It effectively turns the barrel into something close to a virgin oak barrel, but the shaving style determines the quality. Nancy, just dropping knowledge all day long. Love it. Okay, so let me see here. Trying to figure out Let's see here. Okay. I think I'm all set. I'm ready. I'm just getting ready for Blendageddon, guys. Sorry. Let me drop this ticker here. Give you guys some info for tonight. All right, here we go. Okay, I definitely smell the Amaro. It's got a very distinct combination of floral and citrus, which I dig. Not so much floral. Oh man, it just got. There's a really nice sweetness level to this, though. It's buttery, if that makes sense. Gary Franchi, the franchise, is here. Oh man. So I mean, immediate thing on the nose here that I was getting was, again, that floral quality, that citrus quality, a little bit of that bitter quality. But the more I dive in, there's almost like this chocolatey and like buttery type of like component that it has. This thing's really interesting. I don't think I've ever really smelled anything like this, especially this year. You got to try that in a black Manhattan and report the results. Man, this thing is, I mean, I love the nose on this. If you kind of work in both sides of your nose, I get the floral and the citrus on this side, and I get all sweet on this side. This is all like just vanilla, caramel, toffee, and then that's crazy. All right, I got to try this. Here we go, guys. Cheers. Oh. So the palate, this is where the herbal quality of this comes in. It's herbal, it's spicy. It's got a nice balance. It's not overdone herbal. Like when I say herbal, I mean almost like a like an herbal tea type aspect to it. But I love the citrus notes that I'm getting here. Again, I am pulling out some of those sweet flavors too on the palate. That's good. The one thing I can say about that bottle is it's crushable. This thing is ridiculously crushable. I'll say this though, I don't think this would be everybody's favorite type of whiskey with that type of finish. The herbal quality does come through. I don't really get any bitterness on it, which is, I think, a good thing. It's got this sneaky little spice on the back end, but that herbal quality also brings like this citrusy vanilla cream component to it, which I think is really, really nice. It doesn't really... Yeah, like it's like finishing with like this savory, almost a I don't know if it's, I don't know if I'm invoking the right descriptor here, but it's coming off like a rosemary sage type thing. There's like this really beautiful savoriness to it that I haven't really gotten a lot in many whiskeys. Obviously, it's from the Amaro Nonino, just kind of giving all like this herbal quality to it. That thing's crazy. Kenneth Rathburn, compare it to Barrel Armida. Oh yeah, I think I actually still have that. I'm not sure. I was not a fan of Barrel Armida. I definitely prefer this over that. I think Barrel Armida had too much of the Amaro in it, while this is a little bit more delicate. That's good. This is so crushable. This is one of those collabs that I think whoever gets one and loves it will really appreciate it. But I also don't think this is going to be like a huge favorite just because of that herbal quality that it has. But I am digging this. It must be the Italian palate. I don't know. Define crushable. I think good, but more to be craved. So you keep going back to the lack of complexity. Crushable, as in it tastes really good, but it's easy to sip. This isn't like a barrel proof bourbon where you have to slow down. It's like you want more of this. And even at 100, 111 proof, I actually think it drinks below that. That's what I mean by crushable. It is. This is kind of Thanksgiving-y in a bottle, but with like a little bit more citrus, like kind of wrapped into it. Delicious. Man, thanks so much to Bardstown Bourbon Company for this bot. I mean, I dig it. I'm gonna do some tastings with this, share with some friends. I'm really curious kind of the feedback I got on that. So I dig it. All right. Before we get into Blendageddon, some really cool labels came across the web sphere. Including, let's see, first one up that I saw was this Hard Truth. Looks like Hard Truth's coming out with a sweet mash bourbon, straight bourbon whiskey, small batch, non-chill filtered. Always love what Hard Truth is doing. Hard Truth is also releasing a sweet mash 4-grain bourbon, bottled in bond, non-chill filtered. So, 4-grain is generally, corn, wheat, rye, and barley. So I'll be interested to try that from Hard Truth. They're always making good stuff. Here's this is the info on the on this one, on the 4-grain. Let's see, 28 barrel size. This is a pretty small size here. 28 barrels. Mash bill number 4. Mash distilled and aged charred American oak barrels, Brown County, Indiana. Love it. 100 proof. Pursuit United, our friends over Ryan Cecil and Kenny Coleman, coming out with a double oaked bourbon. Hallelujah. I loved double oaked. So glad to see those guys doing that. And it looks like we also have the next few labels for Bookers. How come only 3 showed up here? Well, here are 3 of them. The second batch of 2024 is going to be called the Beam House batch. The third release is Jerry's batch. And the fourth release is Master Distiller's batch. Now, if you kind of check out the ages of it, all the ages and the proofs are all for position only. We don't know if these are going to be the actual ages, and we obviously don't know if these are going to be the actual proofs. These are only when they release these labels, it's just for position only. But when they do release, we'll see. I do like the later batches of Bookers that have been coming out that have been over the 7-year mark. So we'll see what happens. And I mean, I don't know. The thing is that I do Booker's reviews, and I thought everyone kind of lost interest in it. But every time I do a Booker's review, the video gets like 20,000 people love Booker still. And I know I say it all the time. It kind of boggles my mind, but that is where we're at with Bookers. People still love it, man. I'd love to try that Bardstown tomorrow. I love tomorrow. I could see how it might not be for everyone, but for those in the know, it sounds delicious. Nancy, I'll email you. I have another sample for you, a special sample that I pulled. You might remember when you were in the chat when my buddy Dominic was here with that Blanton's barrel. I pulled a sample for you to. He allowed me to send you one. So I have that $6,000 bottle Blanton's from like where there was like 3. I don't know, maybe like barely 300 bottles of that thing. I'm sorry, actually, way less than that. I'm trying to remember like the bottle count on that. It wasn't many, but it was the bottle that everything was handwritten rather than kind of printed because it was such a rare cask. So I pulled 2 samples of that. I actually have one for Miss Fancy Franchi there in the chat who won it, and then I pulled another one for you. So if you want that, Nancy, with a sample of this, just shoot me an email with your current address, and I'll get that out to you. So, Bookers have not tried the new one yet. Hey, Jason, what are your thoughts on holiday-themed whiskey? I tried New Riff's winter whiskey, definitely a different spin on things, but also very good for the season. Yeah, it is. It's perfect for the season. It's got like that chocolatey, malty type of aspect to it, kind of like when the stout, the stout beers come out. It's got that same kind of heft and feel to it. I think if it's done right, it could be good. Some of them can get a little gimmicky, but I'm a big fan of that one. I like that one. All right. Take care, Nancy. Nice to see you. Yeah, I actually rather make the paper plane with that other than making it all together for sure. All right, guys, it is time. Not only are we doing the week 3 of Blendageddon with some heavy hitters tonight, but I do have a guest judge. So while I get set up, it's time for you guys to get fired up for week 3 of Blendageddon number 6. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this special Thursday night for week 3 of Blendageddon number 6. 5 more blends will go head-to-head tonight to see if one of those blends has what it takes to be crowned champion for 2023. Remember how it works, guys. Out of the 5 blends we tried tonight, the top 2 will make it to the Fab 5, while the other 3, well, they got to go home. Ladies and gentlemen, we got some big names going head-to-head tonight, including Hugo Gonzalez, Keith Thompson, Darrell Stewart, Adam Dorman, and the one and only Wise Guy Stu. All right, we are set up for this beautiful Thursday night. We have a very special guest judge who is here, ready to go. Who can it be? All right, guys, let's get this started. Place your bets. Who do you got winning tonight? Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome our special guest judge for tonight, the one and only, the master blender finisher. I just love this guy. I don't know what to call him. I don't even know what his title is. I just know him as Bill Straub of Foregate. Here he is.
What is up, my man? How you doing?
What's going on, Bill?
Thanks so much for having me. I'm stoked, man. I can't wait for this.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on and go through some of these blends. I know blending is something that you love to do. It's stuff that you do for Foregate along with all your finishes. But to kind of help out and judge Blendageddon, it's a big deal. So I'm glad you're here, buddy.
I'm honored.
So what's new? How are you, man? How you been?
I'm doing great. I do want to say for all you folks who have a blend in front of me tonight, if you figure out which one is yours, I do accept bribes. I'm very easy to bribe. Cash is always king. So let's roll.
That is right. Before we get started, guys, last week before I signed off, I totally forgot to read the blend components of the blends that didn't make it through. So I do want to read those a little bit. Now, the one that tasted like melon, if you remember, which I think was the first one. That was the one that was submitted by Jeffrey Gamble. It was called Saved by the Barrel. I know he sent me the blend in my Discord, but I don't remember what it is. So here are the components of that blend. That was that melon forward one. It was sweet. It was a good blend, but I could not get that melon note off of it. And what we have here, oh, now I remember it. Knob Creek 9-year single barrel, 120 proof. A Russell's Reserve single barrel, 110 proof. And then this is what I think killed it. It was the Isaac Bowman port finish at 94 proof. I think that's the component that just kind of deflated the whole blend. Everything just got over. But I would never think I would get like a green melon note from that blend at all. It was crazy. So that was Jeffrey Gamble's blend. Also, we have William Davilar. He submitted the blend called the Midas, which I was really rooting for William. And he even admitted later that the blend was really good, but it did lack a little bit of a finish. So let's see what his blend was. The American blend is 1 part Calumet 15, 1 part RD1 French Oak, 1 part Lucky 7 Holiday Toast, half part Doc Swinson Pinot de Charente, and half part Old Ezra 7. So the combined proof is 111.45. That's crazy. You would think with all those whiskeys, you would have at least something spicy from that French oak component and some of those holiday toasts. But yeah, the finish just unfortunately, I think maybe just over as it mingled over time, it just never really came to fruition. Yeah, that's a lot of Isaac Bowman, says Red 5 standing by. And then last but not least, as soon as I smelled it, what did I say? Amburana. Amburana. Whose is the Amburana? That ended up being Mr. Big Vic's, and he sent his blend in, and it was 80% rare breed, 20% Wild Turkey 101 from 2018. So he was on the right track. His mistake, he aged it for 3.5 days in Amburana chips, and that's what I smelled. And this is the emoji I sent him when I read it. that's what I sent him. So yeah. And Vic was like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry." So yeah, it was a lot of fun. Let me throw on a little mood music like I like to do here.
I hope all 5 of these have Amburana in them tonight.
Well, if they all have Amburana, none of them are making it through. I don't care. By the way, Bill, never come out with an Amburana finish. I know you have. You did, didn't you?
We did, yeah.
Yeah. Don't do another one, please. Thank you. I have your
different strokes.
I have your Kelvin 60 right here that the Grinch is holding on to.
That's what I'm sipping on here is my primer.
So before we get into the blend here, a couple of other, not to put you on the spot, but I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. I was, like to troll around the TTB, and I saw a couple people lost their mind over some labels. Most notably this one. Foregate, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey finished in port and dark rum casks for 78 months, aged 14 years. And look at the name of it. It's called Dangerous. 142.4 proof. What the hell is that? What?
That's a hazmat port finished bourbon, and it's being finished in dark rum barrels now to take a little bit off of the port off of it. But it was hazmat going into the rum barrel, so we'll see what it is coming out. It might be a touch lower, but that's going to be a pretty interesting batch.
Holy crap! And that's 14-year Kentucky bourbon.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
My God, dude, that's going to be like a $500 bottle, isn't it?
Probably not quite that high.
I'm going to call you like this.
Bud Liquor, our prices have never been lower.
No, we haven't priced it yet. We're running Bobby is running our pro formas on it now, but it'll be more than our normal bottles. They were probably some of the more expensive barrels of whiskey we've ever bought.
Okay. Yeah, that thing sounds nuts. And then another one that popped up, of course, was your Kelvin Collab 6.
Oh, yes.
I'm excited for it. Can you talk a little bit about that blend?
Yeah, so that one's going to be all Kentucky bourbons. I believe it is all 9-year-olds. And we've aged those in. So when we first started the company, the first barrel that I asked Calvin Cooper to start looking for, something I'm mildly obsessed over with bourbons finished in it, is Madeira.
Uh-huh.
I love Madeira finished bourbon. It gives it this tart cherry flavor that just drives me kind of crazy.
I agree. Yep.
We finally found some. So we took our best barrels, aged it in Madeira, and then we're also using dark rum with that because we always do a double finish on the Kelvin collaboration. So we've already been tasting it. It's fantastic. It's I know I say this every time we bring out a Kelvin collaboration, but it is.
Yeah, every time we bring out a Kelvin collab, you think this might be the best one. So
it's awesome. It's really good. If you like Madeira at all, you're gonna fucking love this thing.
All right, dude, I'm in. I do like Madeira a lot. We have a proprietary blend we did with Rye 3, and after tasting it, we threw it in a Madeira cask, and the thing just is delicious. So we can't wait for that one to come out sometime.
It's been my white whale since we started the company.
Just doing a Madeira finish in general.
You can find Madeira cask. It's hard to find good ones.
Okay. Hope this guy likes Kelvin Collab 5. Mine might have that in the blend, says Wise Guys do. Oh, Wise Guys he's looking for the bribes. Okay. I don't know if you want to throw a QR code on the screen, Bill. If you want anybody send you some cash, it'd be good.
I'll put my Venmo up here in a bit.
Yeah. If anybody wants to throw any super chats, throw it my way. Maybe I'll give Bill a cut. We'll see. If he gives out any more information about what's going on with Forgate. Yeah, but I think just to kind of go over, Kelvin 60, I think has been a huge hit. Absolutely delicious double oaked bourbon. People have been loving that one. I think anytime it released, it's sold out. Any other plans to do kind of a more traditional double oak type cask finish, or do you have some stuff already cooking?
Yeah, we've talked about it. We've got some other ideas in the hopper. Kind of batted around having that as an option for our private selects this year.
Okay.
And then our main thing we're working on now. We have most of 2024 planned out. Everything's either in barrels or in tanks, or we know what we're going to do with it. But our private selects are the one thing that we're trying to switch up a little bit this year. We've done toast every year that we've done it. I think we're gonna skip this year on the toasted barrels, but we're gonna find some give a lot more options this year. Our hope is that we have 3 or 4 different barrel options for the private select casks.
I agree, more options, and
Yeah.
no more toasted. I said this year, and I appreciate it. But how good is our Forgate barrel that we picked?
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
It's stupid good. So
it is.
I actually
It's
just got
ridiculous.
we actually just got our bottles. I got my bottles today. It was another nice gift I was waiting for on my porch. So,
Nice.
We're releasing that, I think, on December 15th, I believe. So yeah, all the patrons are really excited for that one. Todd Ritter is here. He says hard up for judges, it looks like. He always likes to give you shit.
Well, it's funny that he's in the comments and not in the actual contest anymore. That's
That's true. And I can't believe, I'm a little disappointed that Todd Ritter, the defending champion from 2 years ago, did not even put a blend in the mix this year. I'm like, what the hell happened, dude?
well, lightning doesn't strike twice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A sun shines on the dog's ass every now and again, right? Jason, there's a huge issue with my Kenosha kicker. It's about half gone. Help. Darren, all I can tell you is I think there's still a few available on Shared Pour if you want to grab those. You still have the link. I think there's a few more still left. I never see Forgate in my area for some reason, says Saucy Shane. Eric Thompson. All right. Yeah, I think Forgate, for the most part, you guys have been expanding a little bit, but it's not as easy, I don't think, as people think it is. I want to go into this state versus that state, correct?
Yeah, so we're in most of the big bourbon buying states. We have a couple more. We kind of want to hit the DC area, Maryland. We want to be in Baltimore, Virginia, but we're starting to get into a lot of control states is what we run up against, and it's kind of a pain in the butt to get listed there.
Ohio.
It's actually on the list of the next 5 that we're looking at. We just announced this past week that we're exporting some bottles to Australia. So if we got any Aussies on here, it's coming.
Oh, really? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
like that idea.
So yeah, we are growing, and it's just a question of what's next for us. Ohio's a good state. It's got a good bourbon market. So is Michigan. We're not neither of those. Are both control states. Virginia is kind of the same way.
Mr. Jiggs
next.
Yeah, Mr. Jiggs is a fellow Ohioan, so he can't wait for it to get in line for it. Just saying. Florida has this, says Chris Garner. Fancy Frank says Forgate picks are fire. Yeah, Francie, wait till you try our new one coming out. It's so stupid good. All right, you ready for this, man?
I do want to say I see Jake Mackey says they need more in California. Total Wine, Southern California has a private pick coming.
No, there you go, Jake. I can find Northern Illinois without much issue, says Red 5 standing by. Yeah, I mean, and if you make trips to Kentucky, any of the other states, you have a good shot of finding a few of them, laying around. Obviously, I don't think really the Kelvin collabs really sit around too long, with some of the other finished products that people may not know about but are really good might be hanging around too. So it just depends on where you go, I think. So,
yeah.
All right, Bill. So here's the deal: we're gonna taste through all 5 of these. We're gonna pick a top 2, and we're gonna eliminate. Okay. We're gonna eliminate 3 of them. Okay. Top 2 make it to the Fab 5, and the other 3 go home. These blends are all American whiskeys. They're either bourbon, rye, has to be made American whiskey. No single barrels roll out. That was the big change this year. I didn't let anyone put like a group pick or a store pick in this blend. We want to try to give as many people as a chance to replicate this blend as much as possible. So
can they be off the shelf single barrels like a Four Roses 100 proof single barrel?
It could be a Four Roses 100. If it's a shelfer, but it's a single barrel, you can use it. But
Gotcha.
as far as because those are pretty consistent, even though they are single barrels. So as long as it's a shelf or single barrel, you can use it. But if it's anything, you can't use you getting ready? You getting your loins ready? All right.
I'm ready.
All right. Let me grab my notebook here. Take some notes. All right. Let's get into this thing. All right. Let's start nosing letter A here. Here we go.
All right.
Crack it open. Where does one get a 4-gate tumbler like Bill has?
One comes and visits Bill in Kentucky.
You got
some Bourbon Outfitter for a while, but I think they're sold out.
All right, guys, here we go. Oh man, the first one here, letter A. I want to make sure I have this in the right. Holy shit! I'm getting tons of red fruit in here.
The first thing I wrote down was fruit.
Yep,
I'm getting bubble gum.
for sure. It's like that Hubba Bubba cherry bubble gum to me.
You know, bubble gum used to always remind me of the old pre-Fire Heaven Hill Weeders.
Oh, okay.
The older Old Foresters and not Old Foresters. Old
You know
Fit.
what? What were you going to say? Not the Old Forest, but what?
Old Fits, but I'm also getting that red fruit is an Old Forester trademark.
That's what I was thinking. It was coming off to me like an old Forester, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, I think it is leaning more that way the more I smell it.
It smells good though. That rich red fruit note is really intense, which I really like.
Well, I just took the topper off mine, and it's just that red fruit is just growing every time I smell it.
Yeah, super fruit forward here. This is really nice. All right, let's dive in, man. Cheers. Thanks for joining tonight, Bill. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
To the judge. Here we go. I was waiting for that red fruit punch on the palate, and I just got like a blast of caramel.
I got caramel. I got black pepper.
Yeah, it's got a little spice to it, little kick.
I got a little bit of that. I can't tell off the first sip whether it's dusty or it's yeasty, like Beamish.
Yeah, the dusty note I think is what again reminds me of like an old Forester type thing. That's what it's gearing me towards.
Yeah, I'm thinking there may be something like that in this blend, a significant part of it at least.
It's a little bit. It's a tiny bit drying, but not too bad. Not too bad. Where makes me. Henry Turner has a cool question for you. Henry Turner says, "Fun question. I buy one 4-gate expression a year for 2024. If you could tell us, what is your most anticipated release?" Well, there's probably some stuff that he's working on. He probably can't mention quite yet, though.
The Dangerous is pretty good. There's going to be what else should we talk about? There's going to be a brandy finished one that's crazy.
Is that one that I tried early this year?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. That's really good.
I've been waiting for that one. Do you have a name for that one yet?
We probably do, but we'll let you know when we're sure.
Okay, but it is that brandy finish one that we tried.
Yeah, I think it's Bay and Brandy. I think is what we called it.
Has it been in the brandy barrel this whole time, still kind of cooking? Or Oh wow, yeah. I remember when I tasted it, I'm like, man, it's good, but I want more brandy out of it. I felt like that's going to be probably one of the premier like cigar whiskeys released next year. Just saying. I think it's
going to be really good. I would say not next year, but the end of this year, they probably will start hitting shelves in any time within the next 2 weeks. We have a bunch of 10-year-old single barrels unfinished, both Kentucky bourbon and Indiana rye. There'll be that'll be a Foundation and a River Calvin Rye at 10 years old, single barrels.
Great question right here. Are we going to get another Peri Peri, another port finished rye?
Not in 24.
Oh, dude, you got to make that an annual release. That thing is stupid good.
It's pretty damn good. We'll do it again sometime.
Can I request that for my single cast for next year?
If we can find a port barrel, I'll hold it aside for you.
If you could find a port barrel, you said?
If we get a port barrel, I will hold it aside for you if we get one for the single barrel program.
All right. I appreciate that, Bill. You're the man.
This is really developing a lot on the glass.
This is getting better, and we'll reverse taste these as it opens up because we want these to kind of get a little bit better here. Yeah. Jack Weaver, 4-gate question. The only bottle I've ever had is Kelvin 60 at Bourbon on the Banks. I haven't been able to find one. What other bottle would you recommend I pick up as my first 4-gate bottle? I mean, Jack, for me, I know this is probably more a question for Bill, but I always say you can never go wrong with a Kelvin collab. They're all delicious. Those are all really, really good. But if there's anything that's more in line with the Kelvin 60, what would you recommend, Bill?
I mean, our flagship bourbon in the split stave casks. I really like it. It's a lower entry price point, $150. I love it, especially the 2013 release is just insanely good. A 2023 release is insanely good. 113 proof. I'd probably go with that. Now, if you want something that's more kind of representative of what we do, I would 100% find a Kelvin collaboration. Any of them. Yeah,
any of them. I always say Kelvin collab. They're all pretty good. Here you go. Make Peri Peri an annual release and give it the sub name Midwinter Who?
we might have some. Laura might not like that a lot.
Yeah, I don't think so. All right, let's go to letter B here.
Ooh,
that's completely different. I don't know what it is. I'm getting peaches on this.
I get peaches, but I'm getting a
peaches and what'd you say? Chocolate?
Yeah, like unsweetened cocoa powder.
Mm-hmm.
Or dark chocolate. One of the two.
Yeah, that's dead on. You think there's a like a maltiness to this a little bit that's giving it that chocolate vibe. Maybe
I wonder if there's a malt whiskey in here.
Maybe an American single malt is in this.
That's something I'd love to do for 4-gate. I'd love to find some American single malt with some age on it.
Dude, if you source American single malt, please just go to Cedar Ridge, dude. The stuff they're making is incredible.
We'll have to give them a call.
Yeah.
Well, this is interesting.
Yeah, this is very chocolatey. It's malty. It's sweet. You could, man.
I know exactly what I'm expecting when I taste this, and I'm really kind of looking forward to this.
All right, let's give it a try. Here we go.
It smells like Amberana to me.
Yeah, I don't get Amberana at all, but I get American single. I'm getting American single malt. Please don't say there's Amberana in it. Dude, there's
a grittiness to this that I really like this.
Westland too, man. Westland may have some good malt. I feel like Westland actually would have some really good malt because they use a combination of malts that might go really well with your finishes if you wanted to do that. So Westland might be a good call for you too. Yeah, this is malty. I think there's an American single malt in here, but it's good. What's that, Bill?
The finish on this is 100% bready, like a malt.
Yep, it's all malty.
I really like this. There's some heat to it.
It's chocolate and honey too. I'm starting to get like honey out of this now.
Yeah, I was thinking simple syrup, but I think it's more like honey.
Oh, simple syrup. Yeah, that's a good call out. These are good.
I think it is more honey-like. It's more honeycomb.
Yeah, honeycomb. That's a good call out. Damn. Heaven's Door collab, Heaven's Gates. Westland cast finishes are already popular, so I think they're a perfect fit. Cedar Ridge. Yeah, Cedar Ridge American single malt is so stupid good. It's one of my favorites on the market. Do not get any American single malt from Beam. It's terrible. So bad.
No, I got to be honest. I don't like to talk badly about any of my competitors, but I don't call them a competitor. But the big distilleries, I have never really enjoyed any of their malt whiskeys. That Parker's years ago, that was a malt, was not my favorite.
Jack Daniels did a good job with theirs. I think I like theirs.
You know,
they had a lot of Oloroso kind of overlaying the malt, but I thought it was a good quality malt. But they were also taught by Glendronach how to make a good malt from being owned by Brown-Forman. So that kind of tracked. All right.
That's a dark whiskey. I really enjoy that.
Number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I like the maltiness of it. It's different. It's got good balance, good spiciness. I'm digging B so far.
These are both. I'm very impressed with the blending on these. Very unique flavor profiles.
Mm-hmm.
Very much enjoying this.
And what's crazy is that A and B are completely different.
They are not even the same ballpark.
It's night and day, which is nice. Okay. All right. Oh, man, this is going to be a tough night here, guys. You are not making it easy on us because number 3 already smells pretty damn good. Yeah.
It's got some pininess to it. Lemon and pine to me.
You get a little pine sol on it?
Yeah, I do. I get a little pine sol in a good way, more like a lemon meringue.
Yeah, it is extremely tart. Very tart on the nose. I'm guessing there's a good component of rye in here.
I love tart whiskey. I like sour beers, so kind of looking forward to this.
Chase Johansson, Jason, if you like the Cedar Ridge malts, we have a couple. Yeah, Chase, I have about 3 of them here. I love them so much. Anything they do with American single malts, I've missed the last couple of single casts they put out, unfortunately, but the 2 that I have are phenomenal. I hear lemon and pine.
He hears lemon and pine, and he thinks gin. And in my head, when I said pine and lemon, I knew everyone was going to go gin, but I don't get gin on this.
Yeah, it doesn't come off like that floral component that gin has, though.
No juniper in this or anything like that.
Yeah, I would give this more of a, like you said, kind of a lemon meringue type flavor profile. All right, I'm going to give this a try. Oh, the palate's delicious.
A lot of rye in that. Oh, yeah. A lot of rye.
If there's a lot of rye, though, it got very sweet. It got very sweet on me because I did not
finish on there somewhere.
Yeah, I did not expect that much sweetness off the nose. It got really sweet. Marrow 40K, Jason, what's your favorite rum finish rye? That's a good question. Rum finish rye.
We haven't done just a rum finish rye yet.
Yeah, you haven't done that one yet. Sagamore did a really good one. Sagamore did a really good rum finish rye. I've had a couple of good ones from Starlight. Yeah, I can't say I've had a lot of rum finish ryes, but those are the 2 that I could think of. Sagamore.
Well, the big one is Angel's Envy, who's been doing it for years. But
I mean, they've been doing it for years, but that doesn't even taste like a rye whiskey to me. That tastes like a liqueur. It's like I'm just going to pour that on my pancakes. It's maple syrup.
I'd like to see you do that sometime.
Yeah, I should do that, yeah. Terrence McDermott, what's happening? Is that Wednesday? Pleasantly surprised to catch some stream. Yeah, what's up, Terrence? Yeah, I was traveling yesterday for work, so I switched it to tonight. And luckily, Bill Stroud from Foregate was available to kind of help us out tonight. So
he made it with a bullpen.
So, Bill, what's been out of all the releases that you guys have put out for Foregate? I'll ask you kind of a 3-part question here. One, which is, I know this is tough because they're all like your kids, and you don't want to pick a favorite.
Oh no, I'll pick a favorite kid in a heartbeat. No worries there.
Okay, so what's been your favorite Foregate release that you've done? What do you know if it's does Bobby have a favorite? And then what do you think the masses, like if you talk to, like, the more the people you talk to that buy Foregate, is there a consensus of a favorite bottle that you hear about more often than not? What's kind of those 3 bottles you think?
The 14-year hazmat was crazy, but not enough people got it to taste it.
Yeah.
it would probably be favorites. I think for the masses, it's the Foundation 3. 3 or 5. They're very similar.
Yeah,
those, 5.
Yeah, people still bring it up.
Right now, it's still Kelvin 60. And if it's not, it's probably the Kelvin Collaboration 2.
2. Which is when I did that blind tasting, which was my favorite? Was it 2 or 3? I think it was 3.
I think it was 3. I think it was the Burai.
Yeah, I think it was the Burai, which actually tracks because I love Burais.
Yeah, well, you should keep that in mind for 2024.
I love it. All right. Yeah, the more I taste this, the more you're right. This is heavy rye. I'm actually getting like a slight lemon rind bitterness on the back end of it.
I get a little of that. I get a little grass in this. It reminds me, honestly, of the ryes from New Riff a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's a good call out. Yeah,
I'm getting a hint of that kind of grassy in a good way.
Yeah,
lemony, citrusy. Yeah,
it's
I like that.
Yeah, it's super citrusy, and again, A, B, and C are all completely different. This is gonna be tough. Okay.
I'm very much liking all of these so far, and that's making this. I didn't think it was going to be this difficult. I thought there'd be 1 or 2 that stood out, and a couple of them that were terrible.
Dude, guys, I mean, the names in the bracket tonight are actually guys that have been submitting blends now each year, so they're pretty experienced blenders. I kind of thought it was going to be tough tonight. I didn't think it was going to be this tough, at least through the first 3 here.
I was a little worried when I saw Darrell's name on there because he's got a great palate.
Oh, yeah. By the way, speaking of Darrell, if you guys remember back when we raised money for Navia, his daughter that's going through chemotherapy because she's battling cancer, Jared and Rachel over at Barrel King were kind enough to put up a barrel of their wheated bourbon that they had selected just for them to sell. And they just sold out. And they posted it, and they raised, I think, a little over $41,000. All the proceeds from that barrel, everything is going to Darrell's family to help Navia in her care as she battles cancer and defeats this thing. So raise your glass up real quick for that to Barrel King and to Navia and just her getting better and just beating cancer. But $41,000 donated by not only the whiskey community but also from Barrel King. It's an amazing thing, and I know Darrell is, he's not really too comfortable with, talking about it, but I just wanted to say that, for all of you or any of you that bought that bottle to help in that aspect, cheers to you and thank you so much. So cheers.
Cheers.
Yep.
That was fantastic what you guys did.
Yeah, it was amazing. So, all right. All right, let's go to number 4. Here we go.
I think number 4's got something barrel finished in it.
Number 4 smells like straight up creme brulee, dude.
I think it's got a rum component to it. Yeah, the creme brulee spot on.
I mean, the burnt sugar on the top, it's ridiculous.
I think this may be the one that might have the Kelvin collab in it that has a dark rum component because that molasses could.
That's exactly what it is. It's that burnt sugar molasses note that's coming out of this one for sure. Wow.
This smells sweet. This better deliver on the palate because this.
I know it smells like a fat kid whiskey. I love this.
I don't even remember who said they had the Kelvin collaboration in there, but I haven't put it in my Venmo yet, but it'll be up shortly.
All right. Cheers. Let's hope it's as good as it knows. Oh. I just had water, so I'm going to need another sip of that because it just didn't quite lay on the palate.
Yeah, I kind of missed the front palate on that one. Wow, there's a very peppery finish to that.
The finish on this is the star of the show. The front of the palate, not a ton going on, unfortunately, but the back of the palate is killer. 4x4 was something special like Kelvin 60. Just missed out on the 14-year hazmat. One of the few I missed until the single barrel program started, says Cameron Lochner.
That was an interesting release. It came out the same time as four. We had 4 batches come out at once. One of the other ones was Saint Laurent, and the cognac finish. And both those are 2 of them that, for whatever reason, in my head slip through the cracks every time I think about batches. But whenever I go someplace and pull one out as a sample, it shocks me how good they are.
I think the Saint Laurent was a very underrated release. That thing is really good.
I think the only issue with Saint Laurent is I think there were probably 3 really good cognac finishes that came out the same year, and it was in the mix there with them. But it had competition that a lot of our stuff doesn't tend to have.
Yeah. All right. So how is 4 evolving for you? It's
on the nose. It's becoming more like a coffee cake.
It's got a really good mouthfeel to it. It's sweet. It's weird because it's just like the front of the palate just missing for me, but the finish on this is really, really good.
It reminds me of drinking Dickel 17 with a rum finish, because Dickel 17 to me is 0 down the middle of the palate, but the rum finish is just coating the mouth. I'm loving the mouthfeel. I'm loving the finish, but I'm missing the front palate, like you said.
Yeah, dude, I'm with you across the board 100% on that. Chris Gardner says, "Why source whiskey?" Well, I mean, if you can't make it your own, you got to source it. So, I mean, why source whiskeys? Because I think there are people that are passionate about whiskey, but they don't have the time, or they maybe the expertise, or even the cash flow to start up a new distillery. I mean, starting up
a distillery in 2010. That's why.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, building even a distillery now, like you're thinking about, a possible investment of at least $10 million. I mean, the startup cost on that is just insane. So, and source whiskey, and Bill, you could probably attest to this. It's something that I'm kind of dealing with right now. It's like sourcing whiskey there are a lot of barrels out there. I mean, they're out there. I mean, it's not like you're kind of always rolling the dice. Usually when you're buying a bunch of barrels, you don't really know always what's in those barrels. But it's what you do with them to make them unique that, makes your brand stand out. So that's what you got to do. Yeah.
It's kind of a song and dance. And luckily Bobby is a master at it. My business partner, if you guys don't know Bobby D'Antoni, he's the one who's out there sourcing barrels left and right. But he's kind of developed these relationships, and by and large, we know what's in the barrel before we buy them. We typically always know who distilled it. You don't always get a chance to taste it, though. So
that's the thing. You guys still don't get to taste it, and you don't know how full those barrels are, do you? Or you do?
No.
You don't know. So
we do not.
That's a part of sourcing whiskey I don't think a lot of people realize. You could buy a whole lot of like 50 barrels. You may know who distilled it. You may find out from the barrel broker, but you have no idea how good the whiskey is in the barrel, and also how full those barrels are. So it's a roll of the dice, and it is. Yeah,
it's an interesting. Getting into the sourcing side of it is interesting to me. There's a lot of folks who I kind of question their business plan on a lot of it, because they'll come in at a very low price and they say, well, I don't need to make that much money on it. I'm going to, sell a lot of it in the future. So it's a volume play or something like that. And I keep thinking, but if you bought 20 barrels for your first batch and they were $6,000 each, what do you think that second batch is going to cost you? Yeah. I mean, they're not going to be $6,000. They're probably $6,500. Are you going to make enough money to cover that?
Exactly.
And a lot of people come into it very underpriced. I think honestly, I don't think they come into it underpriced because they don't understand the market and the way the market tends to go. Now, I think going forward, I think prices of barrels will probably come down over the next 10 years because there are a lot of very big distilleries, at least 4 of them in Kentucky, coming online that are going to be primarily sourcing. So new make will be a little bit cheaper, and people are going to buy it and they're going to hold on to it and they're going to sell it in 3 or 4 years. There's already a significant amount that you can get up to about 4 or 5 years old. Yeah. You have to pay for it right now. It's not particularly cheap. But you can get it up to about 5 years old right now if you need Kentucky bourbon.
Yeah.
If you really want it. You have to make the right phone calls and the right connections, but it's there.
Let's see. Can't wait it. Barrel Broker is not going to weigh it for you, and they're not going to tell you what's in it. You don't get to know that until it gets to you, unfortunately.
They'll tell you an estimate, and it's up to you to know whether it's true or not.
Exactly.
Say, hey, somebody else is getting X amount of gallons, and it will get nowhere close to that. Plus, you can't weigh every barrel. No one's going to roll every barrel onto a scale and weigh it to know exactly what it weighs. So they'll say they're averaging 25 gallons per barrel, and when you get them, you're getting 17 because you had 5 empties or something like that. It's
yeah. No, that's really good insight. Thanks for that, Bill. I mean, I think sourcing, a lot of people just have, some people, just still don't like it. But again, if you're drinking the same stuff distilled by a big distiller from Kentucky, you're drinking it anyway in their other bottles. So if it's sourced, yeah, you might be paying for it in the long run, but it's still whiskey that's sitting around that nobody's drinking. So, it's got to be drank eventually.
It's interesting to me because sourcing has been around since before prohibition. I mean,
exactly.
It's not a new thing. It's not. I mean, probably 3/4 of the labels you see on the shelves were not distilled by the label that's on the bottle.
Yeah, you could even go back to what they were doing with Irish whiskeys and Scotch whiskeys overseas, even pre-prohibition. I mean, these guys were buying barrels, throwing it in their basements, throwing it in different casks, selling barrels at a time. And even though it was they were kind of like middlemen, they would take a barrel, they would buy from a distiller. They would kind of house it, maybe age it up a little bit longer, and then they would sell that barrel for a premium after the fact. So sourced whiskeys is not a. I think where people really get the hang up is when a sourced whiskey comes out, I have to pay more for that versus if I could just buy it from the source. And I get that, and I get it, and it's a true statement. However, and I always say this about Foregate. I say it about other brands. It's what that sourcer is willing to do with the barrels to make it different and unique enough for you to want to try that. It's not just like if you go to Kentucky right now, you can walk in a store and see about 5 or 6 or 7 brands that you probably have never heard of, all with 4 to 5 year MGP in the bottle, and they're all charging you about $110 for it.
Yeah,
and it's all the same shit. You're talking about 4 to 5, 6 year MGP, just sitting in a glass bottle with a different label on it, and they just want you to buy it because it's in a new bottle. That to me is more of a money grab than anything. I think what Foregate has shown, and also folks like Pursuit Spirits, when you take different whiskeys and source them, and you're able to do something different with them, either blend them, finish them, do a different type of cask treatment. There's ways that you can make it your own, put your own stamp on it. So,
yeah, I mean that's all we're trying to do is trying to be a little creative with the whiskey and have a little fun with it. And if you just have a moral objection to source whiskey, that's fine. There's plenty of fish in the sea, a lot of brands out there, and there's some people who don't like finished whiskey. I'm okay with that too.
Dylan Quay has a good question before we get into the last sample here. On that point, how do you strategize supply of barrels / bottles and price point? Your whiskey is well worth the money, although on the higher end, but remains consistently priced versus other premium brands. It's a good question.
It's funny. I was talking to Bobby the other day, and I said when we started, our first batch was $199 was the retail price, and if you went into a liquor store in Kentucky, it was up in the top on a glass case, and it was the highest priced bottle in that case. Now, when you go in and look at the glass case, we're the lowest priced bottle in the glass case. I mean, everyone's at $250, $350, $399. It's bizarre.
I'm sick of it, man. It's like Foregate now is like a bargain compared to some of the other shit that's coming out.
Never thought I would hear that, but yeah, I mean,
it's ridiculous. I'm not gonna say bargain. I mean, you're still kind of high at 200, but I mean, for most folks, but still, I mean, you got all these guys releasing shit that's. I mean, who I would have never thought I would have ever seen a Wild Turkey bottle retailed at $450.
And I kind of want that bottle. I got to be honest.
Like, I'll bring some next time I'm in town. I have it. You could try it.
It's interesting how the market has changed. In our case, the way we do, we tend to buy barrels in very small lots, and we bottle in very small lots. So that's very expensive to do when you're renting the line. Whether you're doing 50,000 bottles or 5,000 bottles, or in our case, 2,000 bottles, you don't pay per bottle, right? So you're either buying a half day or a whole day. And if you only do 2,000 bottles, you're spending a fortune to bottle it, right? If you're buying 25 barrels at a time, they cost you considerably more per barrel than if you're buying 2,500 barrels.
Yeah.
So our business model is very expensive. When we first started, we didn't think we were going to be that expensive. But we also knew that when we started, we didn't want to lose money. So we just took our costs and added the standard margin that a producer does. And it's lower than the margin that both the distributor and the retailer makes.
When I was talking to Bobby, Bobby has a couple of drinks. He just kind of tells you everything. I love him. He would tell me, the costs all involved. And that's something else that I don't think people realize that, NDPs get charged for. Not only filling the bottle, renting a bottling line, to adhere labels to your bottles costs money.
Yeah.
It doesn't just come off the thing and it's all done. You have to pay a fee to get stickers put on. They'll charge you for that label, then they charge you for the one underneath, then they charge you for the stamp on top. It's insane. Every little thing has a cost. Yeah.
There's a million things that you don't even think about that go into the cost of a batch. If we're going to taste a batch every 2 weeks, that's $25 every time they pull a sample. Plus, we have to have someone drive to Bardstown to pick them up. If it's us or somebody else, you figure in the cost of driving down there every time.
They charge you. I did not know that. They charge you to pull a sample.
Yeah, they put them in bottles and they charge you for it. They have to pull somebody off their job to go into the warehouse, find the barrels, tap them, pull some samples out of it. I get it, and then they give you.
I get it to a certain extent. I get it, but Jesus Christmas. Okay.
We're at Bardstown Bourbon Company now, and I think they're more fairly priced and much more professional than a lot of other places. So we're thrilled with them. But there's just costs you don't expect. I think.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is things that you wouldn't think of that it costs you to make that bottle. If we're going to try to sell it in, for example, Houston and Texas in general, in order for them to buy it, they might want us to fly and fly in and do an in-person presentation to the head of their sales team, right? So that's figured into the cost of the batch.
Yeah.
We only do 2,000 bottles. It makes it kind of expensive,
I hear you.
It's a bags fly free on Southwest. I see. I just throw myself in the suitcase.
Oh shit! All right, man. Let's go to the last one here. Let's get through these. Now, a really good insight, Bill. I really appreciate that for the viewers. It's always helpful breaking down info like that. And that's why I like to have blenders on and people in the industry as we talk through Blendageddon, because not only do the viewers learn a lot, I learn a lot. It's a lot of fun.
That's an interesting note. We try to be as transparent as possible on everything we do. That was the first thing we said when Bobby and I were talking about starting the company, is we've got to be very transparent.
Chris Garner's asking, actually, that's a good question. Have you ever done a custom mash bill with anybody? Is that something you guys have wanted to do, or are you so far behind in getting on someone still? It's super hard to do that right now.
No, we could contract to still if we wanted to. We don't need. We have enough barrels to last us for quite a while. So we only buy when something really crazy comes our way right now. But in order to get a custom mash bill, you have to contract to still, not source. So you have to go to a distillery and say, I need you to make X amount of barrels, and most of them would charge you a fortune to do a custom mash bill. They'll have a menu of maybe 3 or 4 different mash bills plus a rye that you have to.
But those require minimums, correct? To do a custom for a distillery to do a custom mash bill, you have to sign up. You have to sign up for a good amount of whiskey.
Yeah, in our case, we probably would never need enough to do a custom mash bill. We wouldn't need enough barrels. If we bought enough barrels, it would last us 6 years at the rate even if we double our size every year. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And just to get on, if you wanted to get on a still, even like Bardstown Bourbon Company, the waiting list is insane.
We can get on a list. There's 3 really big, really good distilleries that are being built right now that we know the distillers, we know the people building it, and they're going to do it right. Plus Bardstown Bourbon Company, but for us, it's kind of it's just a value proposition. We don't need it at the moment. and that's a very long-term commitment because you can't just get on and custom. You don't just go in and say, I'll do a run of 1,000 this year and then you're done. You have to sign on for a 5-year deal of 1,000 barrels a year, or 500 if you're splitting with somebody else. We don't need 1,000 barrels.
Yeah, if they're going to turn on all the switches on for you to make a custom thing, they want commitment, and that's another part of the deal. Well,
even without a custom match bill, if you're just using one of them off their cafeteria list, you got to commit to a 3 or 5 year contract
off the cafeteria menu, the hockey puck burger on the cafeteria menu.
Yeah, I'll take that one. Add extra fries with that.
All right, what do you get on the nose on this one?
I'm getting a lot of like freshly sawn oak.
That's funny you said that. So I got pencil shavings on this.
It reminds me of the Bullet 10.
Dude, I haven't had that in forever. I don't even know what you're talking about, but yeah, I get it. I haven't had that.
I remember those things.
Yeah. Hey, Women of Whiskey's in the house. What's going on? I can't tell if that's if it's coming off youthful or is it just a blend that's giving me that weird fresh pencil shaving note on it.
I don't think it's youthful. I think it's just.
I feel like I'm getting Jack Daniel's stuff in here.
Yeah, it's a.
There's something Jacky about it.
There is.
I can't say I'm getting like banana, but there's something pretty familiar here. I'm not just trying to place it.
To me, it's a Metal Warehouse. It's the old Stitzel Weller on the nose.
You think it's weedy?
No. I think it, but I mean, that's where Bullet was aged for a while after they.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But I think there's a little age to it. Reminds me of like the Bernheim 15. I don't know if you remember not Bernheim 15. What was it? That's the other Diageo one, the 15. Harper's 15.
The palate is actually really nice. This is front to back flavor. Front to back all the way. Right?
Didn't see that coming.
Did not see that coming off the nose at all.
That's the most balanced one we've had today. It hits all areas of the palate
easily. It hits everything. And it also has heft to it. It kind of sits on the palate. That's nice.
What am I getting on that finish? Wow, that's
really nice.
Cream corn and
man.
That's like a Thanksgiving dinner. That's wonderful.
That is.
Didn't expect that from the nose.
Did not. I really expected that to be flat, but it was not. That might be. That's up there tonight. Wow. And I love the finish on it, the viscosity of it. It's syrupy. That is a fantastic blend right there.
I think there's probably 2 of them tonight that I would buy bottles of, and this might be one of them.
Yeah. That's good. It's so crazy how the nose just completely. I would never think I would get that profile on the palate off the nose. I was not expecting good things off the nose, to be honest.
I'm still not getting it off the nose. Usually, if you get the on the palate, you can go back and pick out those notes.
No, but it comes off flat, and again, I'm still getting like pencil shavings on the nose.
It's a little composty or vegetal on the nose, with that pencil shavings or sawn oak or something.
Yeah,
like it's not bad. It's just not what I expected from the palate. And the
palate completely is like the antithesis of what the nose is. I did not expect all the sweetness on the palate. That is really good. Wow, the last one making a play.
Wow. I don't think that's the one that has the 4-gate in it, the Calvin Collab, because I don't get any rum or molasses on the nose or the palate. But man, that is tasty.
Yeah, if I had to guess one had the Calvin Collab, it would be D. Off of them. But D just didn't have enough of a front palate from me. We'll run through these real quick again in reverse order.
Yeah.
and we'll start kind of getting this down to our top two here. E's making a strong play for the top two. It's going to really be up to the A, B, C, and D here. See what happens. So
I think E might have some turkey in it. I think E might have some older turkey.
that, you know, I would have said you're crazy off the nose, but on the palate, I tend to maybe believe you. Hey, Big Vic is here. You Amburana bastard. Love it. he blended 2 turkeys and put them in Amburana chips. What are you doing? Giving me a dried out cinnamon glazed turkey.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude, E is really good. All right, let's go back to D because I want to go back to this. Oh my god, dude, this got sweeter.
Oh wow, it actually did.
Holy shit!
That's a cinnamon bomb right now, but not Amburana kind of
Not
cinnamon
Amburana cinnamon. This smells like cinnamon toast crunch, but not Amburana toast crunch
with the milk.
With the with the milk. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know what? As good as the nose is, it's just the palate is just not holding up. I'm sorry. I want to like that so much better, so much more than I'm liking it.
It's just all rear palate. It's all in the back of the tongue.
It's all in the back. There's nothing happening on the front of the palate.
Yeah, I think that's my first one I'm going to eliminate.
Yeah, it's just like the balance is just off, unfortunately. It might have the best nose of the night, though.
Oh, right now it 100% does.
100% has the best nose. Like that, I can smell. Like this should be a candle. It's so freaking good.
I'd buy that candle.
Grinch, what do you think? Stick with my gut. All right, Grinch says yeah. All right. Yeah. Unfortunately, D, the palate just isn't doing it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
All right, I'll take D out of the mix. We'll keep E in. Let's go to C, and then after C, I have a very important question to ask you, and it involves peanut butter and jelly, but we'll get there.
I'm not sure I want to go there.
No, well, we're gonna go there.
Oh, this is the rye again. Lemon meringue.
But even this one is coming off sweeter now in the nose.
This is a key lime pie right now.
Yeah, it went from lemon to key lime and like whipped cream, like vanilla whipped cream and pie crust.
Oh, yeah. I'll be in Key West in February for my wife's 40th birthday, and I hope that I can drink something like this while I'm down there. This is a tropical whiskey.
Man, that palate is nice. Love the spice of it. Love how tart it is. But it's also, the more it's just been sitting in the glass, it's just getting sweeter. This is why we go back reverse order. We got to go back to these and see how they're evolving a little bit after we've tasted them for the first time.
I 100% think this is very rye heavy.
I agree. I think
MVP rye.
I think there's a good amount of rye here. For sure.
I think it's a craft rye. I don't think it's a. I think it could be a. What's the place out in Colorado that does the 100% rye? I can't think what it's called.
You're talking about shit. Leopold
they do a
Brothers?
grain bourbon, and then you can buy it at the
Leopold Brothers.
No.
Old Elk? No.
I have a bottle of it from West Jolly from Modern Thirst. They do a 4-grain bourbon, but you can buy a 100% version of each of the 4 grains at the store at the gift shop.
$291?
It's not $291.
Oh, you're killing me, Smalls.
I know. I should never have brought it up if I couldn't think of the name.
I'm sure it'll hit you. See, I think what's in here is, I think there is. Oh shit! I just had it. What was I thinking? Let me taste this one more time.
Actually, now that you say 291, there might be a little aspen note to that.
I think there's hard truth in that.
I've got a bottle of it upstairs right now.
Hard truth rye. I think there's some hard truth rye in there because it's sweet. It's rye heavy. It's savory. I'm guessing there's some. It's good. C is definitely in the running for me tonight. I like C a lot.
I like C because it's very different than the others.
Is it Laws? Is it AD Laws whiskey or Boulder Craft?
That's it. Laws. It's Laws. 80 Laws.
Okay.
That's it.
There you go. Thank you so much, Mr. Dramhound. All right.
All right. Back to B, huh?
Oh, B is the American single malt one that we like so much.
That's the chocolate.
The chocolate, the malty goodness.
It's like a chocolate lava cake right now. That's good.
Oh man, I'm digging that. I'm getting the chocolate, but there's something very citrusy on this too that I'm getting.
100%. It's like a Grand Marnier or something like that, or orange.
Yeah, Grand Marnier liqueur, but chocolate and orange together. That's stupid good too.
Man, right now, they're making this tough.
Yeah.
Is this round one?
This is week 3. This is the first.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
This is good. I didn't think it would be this hard. I didn't think there'd be. I thought there'd be one or two good ones.
No, I mean,
honestly,
I think you get to some weeks and you see the names and the blends, and I mean, Hugo, Keith, Darrell, Adam, Wise Guy Stu, they've all made incredible blends over the last couple of years. Yeah, that's all what I get here now. It's a chocolate orange bomb with spice, though, with a really nice spicy finish.
It definitely has a spicy finish. I
like that a lot.
Man, I've got 3 of them on my notebook here that I'm loving, and I'm gonna have a hard time eliminating one of them.
I got to go back to A because I remember we really liked A in the beginning too.
That's my other one.
Wow. Man, even this one has gotten better on the nose. This is probably the toughest round I've come across so far in this year's Blendageddon. This is tough.
Wow,
there's some really good blends in here.
Lord. So that's the best nose. This A and B are the 2 best noses.
Well, other than D, who we eliminated, D still had the best nose.
Yeah. I put a line through it. So everything was great on D except the front of the palate.
Yep. I agree.
Everything here has been exceptional. Very good job of blending. Very impressed. I expected some stuff that would kind of turn my stomach. To be honest, I didn't know what to expect.
No, I think everyone has. I think the first year there was a good amount of those like blends that just these are bad. But as we're into our 6th one here now, Blendageddon 6, the blends are all. I maybe come across 1 or 2 that are come off as undrinkable, but there's not many anymore.
No wonder Ritter's not in it anymore. God, I hope he's still watching. So, in case people don't know, Todd's my cousin-in-law, Todd Ritter. Yeah. So I'm allowed to make fun of him.
Yeah, Todd Ritter is Bill Schraub's cousin. So
if you didn't know, he won Blendageddon a couple of years ago, and if you ever meet him, he's almost 100%, 99% likely to be wearing the Blendageddon champion T-shirt.
Yeah, he might be. Yeah.
If you meet him, you will know instantly that he was a Blendageddon champion.
Yeah, guys. So real quick, I'm going to throw up the bracket here just to kind of give you guys a quick recap of what we got. So we have Andy Smith and Danny Lopez from week 1 moving on to the Fab 5. We have JG and Eric Snyder moving on from week 2. Tonight we will see who moves on. But next week is a huge week. We have Bo's Wine Guy, Wade Ward, Copper Wolf, Bourbon Jerk, and Saucy Shane. And then following up with week 5, we have Eric Sawyer, who's the defending Blendageddon champion, versus Darren Clary, Shelby Strunk, Run DMC KY, which Mr. DMC Kentucky, he won the Blendageddon Frankenblend category. So congrats to him. And then Andy Bolgiano will wrap that out. And then we'll see how the rest of the blends shake out. So it's gonna be a fun little tournament. So I'm getting the more I go back to A, I'm getting Beam in A. You getting Beam?
Yeah, so I said Beam the first time through that I thought it was either a dusty what did I say? A dusty Heaven Hill Weeder or Beam.
Yeah, the more I go back to it, I'm thinking Beam.
I think it's a Beam product. I think it's and I don't think it's a Knob Creek. I think it's a
Baker's.
Yeah, it's either a Baker's or a Booker's just to up the proof.
I think there could be a Knob Creek 12 in there maybe too.
Yeah, so it's interesting for me. I get that Beam flavor in everything that says Jim Beam on it, plus Booker's, but I don't get it on Baker's, Knob Creek, and I occasionally get it on. I don't get it on Basil Hayden, Knob Creek, and I occasionally get it on Baker's.
All right, Bill. So before we kind of go through these last 4 here and start eliminating and making a very, very tough decision tonight, I don't know if you know the theme that kind of started last year. Scott from My Bourbon Journey actually started it because he would.
Oh, dearly.
Yeah. So as you can imagine, he got very passionate about how he makes his peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and it became a thing. So I was asking every judge that came on, what's your perfect peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And it got to like points of like ridiculousness where people were going out of their way to make the perfect peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Now, I'm going to ask you, what is your ultimate peanut butter and jelly sandwich? Now, before you say it, we want to know, what bread do you like? White, wheat? Is it toasted? Is it multigrain, untoasted? The type of peanut butter. Do you go creamy? Do you go crunchy? Is there a specific brand you always got to use? Then we're going to go to jelly, jam, preserves. You like either one? What type? Strawberry, grape, blueberry, blackberry, whatever it is. And then so on and so forth.
I got you.
All right, Bill. Lay it on us. Give us the Bill Stroud 48 Whiskey Ultimate Peanut Butter and Jelly Sandwich and go.
It's white bread.
Wait,
toasted. White bread.
White bread. Toasted, you said?
Toasted.
Okay.
Peter Pan peanut butter. Creamy.
Peter Pan creamy peanut butter. Okay.
Grape jelly.
Grape jelly.
And we're not done. Bacon.
And bacon?
Trust me. Try it.
So you're going with the sweetie and the meaty.
Try it one time. So I did this when I was a kid, and I forget when this was. This would have been like 2006 or 7. I was out in Houston at a kind of a gastro pub or something like that, and one of their appetizers was peanut butter, jelly, and bacon, and I lost my shit. I went nuts, and I said, I can't believe this is on the menu. This is what I ate as a kid. They brought it out, and it was everything I remembered it being.
So there's a burger joint here, and it's actually a brewery. I'm sorry, it's not a brewery. It's it's one of those like beer, like pint room places where they have like 100 taps on the wall.
Oh, like a tap room, yeah.
Yeah, like a tap room. They have a burger on their menu that is a burger with jelly. I think it's jam though. I think it's like jam, peanut butter, and bacon on the burger, and it's actually kind of delicious. So
I've never had that.
This could be this is something I'm gonna have to try.
I'm telling you, toast the bread, peanut butter, grape jelly, put a couple slices of crispy bacon on it, it will change your life.
So yeah, that might be the most interesting one we've heard. Nancy Fraley sent me a photo of like her peanut butter and jelly components. It was amazing. Yeah, she does like the Bon Mama or the Bon Mommy like type of jelly. I think it's strawberry. She does crunchy peanut butter. I'm a crunchy guy because I need the texture. I like the texture.
Oh yeah, I get it. I mean, you'll love the crunchy bacon and peanut butter and jelly. Though.
All right, I'm gonna try that shit. I'm gonna.
You
try
should.
It. You know what? I'll message you when I make. I'll send you a photo of it, and I'm gonna make it exactly. I'm gonna go get Peter Pan. I'll do the creamy.
You can also use Jif. I will also accept Jif creamy.
I actually might have Jif creamy upstairs. So okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's say we whittle this down.
I think I've got my two.
So between A, B, and C, because I think E is in, because E is delicious.
E's in.
All right. So between A, B, and C, where are you leaning?
So I eliminated A.
Why?
I thought when I came back to it, it was a little yeasty. I lost the fruit when we first started. I had a lot of fruit on the nose, and I kind of lost it as we went on, and I kind of wanted that. But by and large, it wasn't so much that I didn't like it, as so much as I love B. I love B, and I like C a lot. It's different. It's a rye. C tastes like a grassy New Riff young rye to me. Like if you replace that with 100 proof New Riff single barrel rye, I probably might not know a huge difference between the two of them. But B and E, I think, stand out as very full flavored, phenomenal nose on B, very, very, very rich, very chocolatey, very dark. But E has the best palate. And I think you get nose.
I am with you. Although I agree to eliminate A, like you said, I love the dark fruit note in it. It does get a little bit yeasty, and it also starts getting a little bit middle of the road. It doesn't stand out enough against some of these others.
Yeah.
B and C to me, I'm having a hard time with B and C. C, I really like C, but I could see what you're talking about with B. That dark chocolate, brown fudge, and all that. I mean, it's so good.
Give me 2 minutes, because B and C, I kind of struggled over these.
Yeah, I'm struggling between these two. But E, whoever has E, you're in. All right.
Yeah, E's fantastic.
All right, so let's break it down on nose. Let's go to nose first. B and C.
So B is chocolate and orange, and it's still. I mean, the longer it sits in my glass, the more it's just.
Dude, so go back to B real quick. Does B give you like a? I'm almost getting like a smoky barbecue-y thing in B now.
Smoky barbecue.
Not
peanut butter, jelly, and bacon by any chance?
Maybe it's the bacon you mentioned. It's like a light, like almost like a mesquite like type thing that I'm getting in B.
I'm not sure that I get that. I get a lot of dark flavors though.
It might be just like that maltiness, and I'm getting like I don't know, maybe it's like the dried malt I'm picking up, but it's coming off, and I get that sometimes. It comes off like a burnt toast to me a little bit. Maybe that's what it is.
So B has gotten better the longer I've smelled it, the longer I've let it sit in the glass, and the more I've sipped it. I liked it a lot when I tasted it, and it's gotten significantly better since.
B has such a ridiculously good finish. Yeah.
It probably has the best finish of anything. It has the second best nose.
Yeah, you know what? When I go back and forth, as good as C is, that little bit of a bitter, rindy finish I get on the back end, which actually is very reminiscent of New Riff. It's why I don't like a lot of New Riff single barrels. I don't think it holds up to B when I go back.
C to me tastes like it has some craft rye in it, which is fine.
I feel like I taste hard truth rye in that. I really do. But I don't get bitterness from hard truth rye, so I'm not sure where that's coming from. All right. So is it E and B, you think?
For me, it's B and E. Yeah.
I would probably lean. C is so close, and I hate to eliminate it, but man, it's right there. But
It's 2B for me. I mean, it's so close.
yeah, B and E though. E is ridiculous, and B has the finish that C doesn't. C
I gotta go
is
back.
good, but B has this ever long finish that just goes. So, unfortunately, I don't know. B is the C. Yeah, it's all about.
Yeah,
It's B.
it is. I would be okay if we landed on C, but I just keep going back to B every time I smell it, every time I taste it. It hits what I like in a whiskey. I love that dark, rich flavor.
I mean, C has a good finish too, but yeah, it just doesn't have the best way I can explain is that B is richer.
It's a richer kind of more decadent type of whiskey. C, right. I could see getting lost with a heavy meal, for example. If you're at a steakhouse and you get steak and mushrooms and mashed potatoes, I can see C getting lost with that.
Thick cut jalapenos. Thick cut jalapeno bacon is the best, says Eric Thompson. Oh, that sounds amazing. All right. So we are going to give the nod to B and E. So let's find out who is eliminated here tonight, and then we'll know who B and E is. So here are the three. I'm going to save C for last. Because that one was on the fringe.
If you have a wild card spot, I would consider C for that.
I know. C is right there, but we have too many damn blends. I don't know if it'll make it. All right. Here is the key. She wrote it. Okay. She wrote it out. Oh my God. Okay. Here we go. Oh, let me get I remembered to bring down the components, so we'll know what's in it. So this way we could see if our guesses were right, what's in the blends. I love doing that. All right. First one, letter A. This was the one that was really good, kind of fruity in the beginning, but the more we went back to it, it just kind of ended up going middle of the road. This one belongs to Mr. Keith Thompson with his blend called Hopes and Dreams. Sorry, Keith. So let's go back to our notes here, Bill. We said this one we think has some good amount of beam in it. Let's see what's in Hopes and Dreams. Holy crap, this is like double taped. Oh my God, this is a mess.
Is that papyrus?
Papyrus. Yeah, it's hand woven paper. Here we go. Are you serious? Dude, I called it. Letter A. Hopes and Dreams. Calumet 14, 30%. Remus 6, 30%. Knob Creek 12 year, 15%.
Damn.
Old Carter Batch 12, 15%. Doc Swinson French Toasted, 3%. And then I think you said this, Knob Creek 9 year, 7%.
Yeah.
So there was a good amount of beam in here. Not as much as Calumet and Remus, which is basically Barton and MGP, essentially. But I think the beam penetrated the Barton.
It's interesting because I like everything in there, and I like that whiskey a lot.
Yeah, it's good.
I would buy A. That was a bottle. I would have a bottle of it on my shelf. I would have it in the cabinet behind me.
If there was a bottle of A, I'd buy it for sure.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good job, whoever that was. Who was that, Keith?
That is Mr. Keith Thompson. So congratulations.
Well done, man.
Keith, I'm sorry you were eliminated, but dude, that was this was a very, very tough round tonight. So you were right in the thick of it, but it just went a little bit middle of the road and unfortunately. So, all right. Which is Beam? Chris Garner. So the Knob Creeks are Jim Beam products. All right. So we did letter A. Let's go to It's the next one here.
C?
Yeah, we'll do it in order here. We'll go to C next. C goes to... What did we write about C?
Lemon meringue, key lime pie.
This is the one that was right on the fringe, and we were like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. This belongs to Wise Guy Stew. Damn. Wise Guy. Where's his? 10 Steps to Heaven. Dude, it's such a good blend. I'm going to read off Wise Guy's blend. And you know what? Wise Guy's blend, this could be, I feel like if he switched a little bit of the components of this, maybe the percentages, this could be an absolute hitter of a blend. So we said there was a good amount of rye in it. Let's see what was in.
I want slightly more meat to it.
You want more meat?
I want more meat to it. I want a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of corn in there.
All right, so this is 3 Catcher's Rye, 100% rye, finished in French barrique casks.
Oh, remember when I said 100% rye, 80 laws?
You did. You done did it. You nailed. And you also said this, which you nailed. This has a Journeyman Corsettes Whips and Whiskey, which is 100% wheat. Remember you said it was reminding you of kind of like a funky, like wheat thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
4-gate Kelvin 5 was in this one. I did not get that from that blend.
No, I did not. I thought that was in D.
Yeah. Mayor Pingree, 8-year black label. Very good. And ECBP A117. Dude. The fact that he blended a 100% rye and a 100% wheat, I mean, that's tough. And it actually worked really well together. I did not expect that at all.
Does he have the percentages on that? Because I feel like you could tweak the percentages and get something phenomenal.
It's given in parts. So he's like 3 parts Catcher's Rye, 3 parts Corsettes, Whips and Whiskey, 2 parts 4-gate, 1 part Mayor Pingree, 1 part ECBP. Stu,
yeah.
What was your, like, when you say part, can you like give us like what's like the ounces for that, like that you used? Was it 1 ounce, 2 ounces, half ounce? Like what was that in part? Because I want to know.
But what are the total parts there? Is it like 8?
Yeah,
3 parts. 3 parts.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm
guessing 30%. 30% is 3 parts.
Yeah. Wise Guy Stu said it was a lack of corn. He thinks that did him in. Dude.
Yeah. So my thing would be is more of the Kelvin or the ECBP, especially the ECBP. If you make that one 30% of this blend, is probably a winner. Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Catcher's Rye or maybe the Journeyman gave it an extremely youthful like thing that it had that just didn't. Yeah,
I think it's the Catcher's.
But that is probably. I'm gonna save that one. I think I actually don't have the 3 Catcher's Rye. I'm gonna have to get a bottle of that and then try to remake this. And I want to play with the. I'm gonna play with the percentages of that. That's a really good blend. All right.
So I think that Stu, I think you've got on this one, you are real close to having a grand slam. As it is, it's like a solid triple. You came up against a couple home runs. I think you can the percentages and knock this one out of the park easily.
Yeah, Stu blended. It was a full 10 ounces, so you could figure. So each part was an ounce. So there you go. Yeah. That was his blend. Yeah, Wise Guy Stu, you're on to something there. I think you see the percentages. That has the ability to be an insanely good blend.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to we did C. Let's go to letter D. Okay. Letter D was the super sweet one.
Yeah.
And that one belongs to Mr. Hugo Gonzalez with Wheaties. That is the name of his blend. 108.8 proof. Stu is a beast with blending, says Darrell. Yeah. Let's go here. Let's see what we got. Wow, are you serious? This makes no sense. Oh, maybe it does. Okay, so here we go. Wheaties, Whiskey for Champions, 108.8 proof, all equal parts, 150 milliliters of each. You ready for this one?
I'm ready.
Larceny Barrel Proof A123, Journeyman's Corsets, Whips and Whiskeys, Rebel 10-year single barrel, Middle West Michelin Reserve, which is, I believe, is a 4-grain, and then Middle West 5-year Oloroso wheat whiskey, blended by Hugo Gonzalez, a.k.a. Juice HE. Hugo, you win the nose of the night. Best nose, easily, hands down. Stupid good nose. Unfortunately, the front of the palate, I think, just got too soft. I think the wheat took over, and it just made it so super easy. Had a great finish, but the front of the palate just got lost in that blend.
I'm trying to think of what it was that caused that to happen, because like Larceny is typically, to me, front of the palate super hot.
Usually, and the Middle West spirits actually drink pretty tame so I'm thinking maybe it was the Middle West stuff, but it could have been. I feel like the Journeyman we've seen in 2 blends here tonight might have done the most damage to the blend. So I want to give a big congratulations to 2 of our competitors. Number 1, Mr. Adam Dorman, with his blend called Dirty Glasses and Old Bar Stools, which was letter E. That was the one we really loved. So Adam Dorman, congratulations.
Awesome.
And letter B, the crazy dark, whatever the hell that was, that belongs to Mr. Darrell Stewart. Congratulations.
That's awesome. Do you not reveal the blend until
I don't reveal those blends till the end, until when they get eliminated, we reveal the blend. Actually, I don't even have Darrell's blend. He would actually have to send that over to me. So
it's on a need-to-know basis.
Yeah, but Adam did send his in. I do have Adam's here, but that is not to be revealed yet. If Adam goes all the way and becomes the Blendageddon VI champion, so congrats to both Adam and Darrell. And I do want to say, really well done job by both Keith, Wise Guy Stu, and Hugo. You guys made ridiculously good blends, and Bill will tell you how tough this was tonight.
I think B was probably my favorite one, just because nose and palate together, I thought if you combine the 2 of them together, I thought it was the best. E, the nose was a little weak, but the palate was the best palate of the night. Unquestionably the best palate of the night.
Of E?
You guys, E.
Yeah, I don't know how that happens. E has a weak nose, but the palate is unbelievable. And Darrell's blend, which is letter B, is it's a deep, rich flavor profile. It's so good.
Darrell's is strong in both nose and palate, but I would say that the palate is exceptional.
Yeah,
exceptional.
Adam's blend is stupid good. Every time I go, I just sip Darrell's again. Dude, that is so good. All right, congrats, man. This is getting tougher every year. Bill, real quick, I want to thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It's a late Thursday night. I knew you were going to have a lot of fun with this, so I really appreciate you coming on and talking a little Foregate, kind of schooling us on a little bit of how Source Whiskey works, the methodology that Foregate uses, giving us some insight to some of your upcoming releases. By the way, again, our Foregate pick from the Master Journey Whiskey Club that's going to be dropping here December 15th is so stupid good. I remember at Bourbon on the Banks, Bill was like, wow, it's really nice of us to give you these really great casts, isn't it? So
I kind of wish that had been a batch release of ours. So
yeah, it's stupid. It's blueberry pie in glass, to be honest. It's so stupid good. So thanks for that. Bill, tell everyone where to find you. A little bit more about Foregate. What's the next release you got coming out?
Next release will probably be Triple Oak. That's a Kentucky straight whiskey. It's not a bourbon. It's a straight whiskey. So it was originally in used cask. It was triple oaked. So The great thing about Triple Oak, the big reason we did it is the owner of Kelvin Cooperage when we started the company was Kevin McLaughlin.
Yep.
And he had always had it in his head to do a Triple Oak of Kelvin Cooperage, essentially their barrels. He passed away from cancer, unfortunately, a few years ago now. But we finally came across this Kentucky whiskey. It's just straight whiskey. It's on its own is interesting. But when you then put it in a toasted barrel and then a charred barrel, it is something special. So that'll be our next release. Next batch release, we will actually have the single barrels that I mentioned earlier, the 10-year Foundation and River Kelvin Rye, unfinished, 10 years old single barrels. They'll be out in any day. They're in this, they've already been ordered by all the distributors, so you can expect them within the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, hopefully. But you can find us on Instagram, Facebook, all that fun stuff. And thank you so much for having me. This was an absolute blast. Congratulations to the two winners tonight. And and everyone actually submitted some pretty damn good whiskeys. I'm impressed.
Everyone had really good blends tonight. So
super
super impressed. So again, thanks, Bill Straub. Guys, if you haven't tried anything from Four Gate, I highly advise you to do so. Take a look around. Kelvin 60 is absolutely phenomenal, and they just keep putting out great stuff. So our pick, we can't wait to bring to the masses here, at least for our group. And then we next week have another big week of Blendageddon happening. That'll be back to the regularly scheduled programming on Wednesday night. So thanks for everybody for tuning in on a Thirsty Thursday rather than a Whiskey Wednesday. And I really appreciate all the support. We had about almost 300 people watching tonight, and that's more than I can ask for switching the scheduling on you guys and everybody kind of chiming in. So really appreciate it. Thanks for all the support. Thanks for all the love. Tomorrow, look out for my first Advent calendar episode. Again, thanks to Bill. Thanks to you guys. Thanks to the blenders. If you're in Patreon, we'll be doing an after hours hangout here in a little bit. I'll post that in Patreon pretty soon. And for the rest of you, as I always say, it's not about the whiskey, it's the people you share it with. So cheers, and I'll see you next week right here live on Wednesday night for Blendageddon Week 4. Cheers, guys. Thanks, Blue. Thanks for coming out, Bill.
Thanks, man.